Welcome, everyone, to Music Junkies, a podcast about people sharing extraordinary stories about how music has impacted their lives.
I'm your host, Annette Smith, and today I'm super excited. We have an incredible band joining us on the podcast today from a small town outside of Edmonton, Alberta, right, which is awesome. It's calling all captains. And we're losing a couple band members, but that's okay. We got Brad, we got Luke, and we got Nick. So I appreciate you guys being on the show. I'm excited to kind of dissect your album, right, slowly getting better, and then also asking a whole bunch of really uncomfortable questions where we can really get to know you better.
Nice.
So welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, thank you.
It's awesome. So I wanted to, and I don't know this, so if this is like a random question that you get all the time, but do you guys write all together, or is there one person that's a writer?
I think we're all writers, but it's different for every song. Like there's some songs that like Luke wrote completely by himself, like 95%, and brought it to the band, and then we kind of fill out some other parts and pieces, and other ones are
sometimes Connor does that too.
Yeah, sometimes Connor does it too. Yeah.
Sometimes we'll just like have an idea and then we'll just kind of ham it out, just keep sending demos, just be like, hey fellas, what think?
No, I think it's important. I love that you guys are all kind of taking part on the songs, right? Not just one person that you have to rely on to do that.
Yeah, I think as far as like demos and like coming to recording time, I think it's like, as far as like demo writing and like base material, Connor and I will do most of it. But when it comes to the studio time, that's kind of the point where everybody can actually dip their toes in and really like kind of hit the angles of the songs and really make sure that we all kind of vibe with it the whole way through. And, Tim changes lots of the drums. We add different feel parts here and there, harmonies, don't even touch half of those sometimes until we get to the studio,
Yeah, I love it. So Luke, I want, where's your teacup today? Right? I
feel
feel
like I'll go grab it.
Right, I feel a little lost without your teacup. What's the story behind the teacup, Nick? Do you know the story?
Oh, I know the story, but I'm gonna leave it for Luke because I'm just gonna make him feel bad about it if I tell him.
You want to know the story?
I do. I want to know the story.
I think it looks hard.
You found it at Value Village.
Yeah.
I love that you have the saucer, right? Like that's an important component when you're having tea.
I would happen to agree.
So do you actually just take tea in there, or is it more something a little harder?
Oh, I don't drink at all, actually.
Yeah, I'm the only one in the band that consumes alcohol.
Wow, good for you guys.
I thought you were gonna say good for me.
You're a one-man show.
I'm drinking for a family of 5 regularly.
You know what? Actually, I cannot find this teacup. I don't know where I put it. That's all right. I'm really into coffee mugs lately. That'll be for the next record.
So you go into Valley Village, you see this teacup, and you're like, "Oh my god, I have to have this. Buy it."
Yes. Yeah.
This has to be a music video.
Literally, that's what happened. I was like, dude, this is so sweet. I love the way this looks. And then we just like, especially for Undone, I was like, dude, imagine if I have a teacup on the edge of the hill. Why do I have a teacup on the edge of the hill? We're gonna get questions being like, it's like we're gonna get questions being like, yo, what's the significance of the teacup? And I'm just gonna reply, I thought it looked cool. And that's exactly what just happened.
Well, I think you have to teacup in a couple videos.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. Well, it's true. Oh, and the wasted one too.
You smash it in the wasted one.
Yeah, I smash it. So
you bring it in and you get it gone, and that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. I love it. You should just constantly have that. Maybe put up a little table on stage and just have a little tea set on there, and you can smash it at the end of the set or something.
Yeah, we can brew our Colonial Captain's loyalty in collaboration with Satanic Tea Company. Available now.
Hey, you can sell them.
Nice plug.
Can you plug that any harder, bud?
Yeah.
I'm sure I could, but
got a marketing guy on here. He'll be able to do it. That'd be no problem at all.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna start with your guys' first song. You ready?
It's been a couple days since I've seen your face. I guess I'm trying to say, home is a different place. Do you still think of me? Do you still think of me? 'Cause I still think of you. 'Cause I still think of you.
Fool's Gold. Who wants to tell me the story behind that song, kind of where it came from, what it means to you?
Luke,
I'll
you
do
want
that.
you want to talk song? I'll talk video bits after.
Yeah, I didn't. Video was. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the song is really special in a lot of different ways because a month before we went in to record Nothing Grows Here EP, it didn't exist. You know, like that song, we scheduled studio time, I believe, after we got back from tour, right? Am I correct in that? 'Cause,
Yeah,
like,
we actually booked studio time without having a drummer.
yeah, it was crazy. So anyway, we had like a few week buffer in between the studio or in between the tour and the studio, and Connor came up with this really nice riff. You know, that's the opening riff to Fool's Gold. And I'd went through some relationship stuff on the road, you know, like relationship ended, this or that. And so I was just wanted to put those feelings in a song at that time, and I was just kind of going through it. So I just took his riff and I just let it go. And like I wrote a whole song that evening, and it ended up being Fool's Gold. And I went to the boys, you know, like I showed them it, and I showed Connor, and I was like, yo guys, like we should probably put this on the record. Like, I think it's a great song. And then, you know, that's what we do is that I brought it to the band. You know, I did 95% of the writing because like, or the 95%. And then we had Quinn, our producer, go and change some stuff. You know, Tim recorded the drums, so he added the vibe, and we really made it. So like, you know, we had Connor's vocals was on the track too, you know, so it may have came from like a moment in time of my life, but we really let everybody dip their toes and kind of stand under the shower. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a pretty nice song that kind of helped a lot of people. That I remember one fella, it was in Ohio, he came up to me and he said that song really helped him because he was just a young guy, but he was already going through a divorce. You know what I mean? So that's got to be tough if you're in your early 20s. And it's just kind of, it's really good to have a song that I kind of just word vomited out that someone else can, you know, kind of appreciate in a bigger way.
No, it is good. And that's what music's really all about, right? Is that, and you guys get to experience that, right? You get people coming up to you and saying,
I think that's
"This song
what
inspired me," right?
Yeah.
Inspired me to do this. It helped me quit this. It, you know, I love those stories. And I love the fact that you talked about that, because I think maybe lots of artists know that. But I think it's really empowering when you get to have a fan come up and tell a story like that, right? Because it has so
Yeah,
much
you know,
meaning by you.
Yeah, and like I can first name and last name this person to this day, you know what I mean? Like they really did affect my life in lots of different ways. And just want to give a big shout out to anybody who connects with our music and supports us like that, you know, because it's all of this stuff was just a dream. It was all a dream. Yeah, but for real, it's like when we get to go back out on the road this summer, it's like we're gonna get to do that all over again, but with some new songs now. Maybe we can have a moment like that with somebody over a song Wasted. Maybe somebody got sober. You know what I mean? Like all of these things are potentials that I'm just ready and excited for.
Yeah, it's awesome. Nick, what spurred the idea to come up with the video that you did with that song?
We when we were sitting and talking about the idea of like, okay, we want to do a video for this, we kind of spitballed like a couple different concepts, and we talked about the microwave video. I think it was Vomit, and Every Time I Die's Map Change, just really showcasing like hometown stuff. And we've always been like unapologetically proud of being from Edmonton. Like we made Oilers t-shirts. We've talked about it in any context we possibly can, that we are from here, and we don't have any plans on not being from here. The entire concept of our first EP was literally a middle finger to anybody who said we'd never make it being from Edmonton. So we kind of just like, this is like the move for us to showcase this city and like some of the highlights and a lot of the stuff through it that nobody else really gets to see unless you're from here. So like one of the first buildings you see in the video is Avenue Theater, which is a debunked venue that we had, but we literally all of us met there. Like me, Luke, and Connor's old band played a show with Brad's old band. Like I've got a tattoo of it on my bicep. This venue meant the world to all of us. And when it closed, we were actually on tour. So like we never got our chance to say goodbye. So it felt nice to have a bit of an homage to that in there. And then the scenes like where we're all playing music is the office that I work out of. Like I work in a photo studio. So we've got all these backdrops and stuff set up. So we're like, yeah, let's go do that. We show like Shaw Place. There's parts of our jam space. There's a skate park in St. Albert that Luke grew up being a degenerate in. Like he pops the sickest ollie. It's awesome.
Man, we had a pop shove it on film. Loden did me so dirty. I swear to God, that's tough. Shout
out Loden from Rarity. But like it was past showing just places. We show like people that were important to us. We have Luke's mom and his dog in there. Sandy, who plays bass in Royal Tusk and was in 10 Second Epic, owns a bar here that, you know, it was the place that we all used to go drink at. And so we got him serving us some drinks and me and Brad hanging out on the patio. We've got outside of the Starlight Room where we did our record release show second time around. Like it's just so many landmarks that we really wanted to show how cool this city is for a city that gets such a bad rap. Bridge. Yeah. we got a couple bridges. We got under bridges, over bridges. We have the shed in Luke's backyard and Connor's parents' garage with him working on the van. There's the giant mural that says "Take a risk. It's the most Edmonton thing you can do." And then Lord knows, like inside West Edmonton Mall, the water park in Galaxyland, I recreated a very taboo wrestling photo in it. And then we have like my tattoo artist who's tattooed like our band logo on my hand, and he tattooed me and Brad when we signed our first record deal. Like we really just sat and showed everything that the city had to offer, like between friends and locations and beauty and grunge. And it was something really important to us, is to like show off that this city doesn't suck like everybody thinks it does.
No, I love it. It's awesome. I love the video. Your guys' videos are really cool. I love that you just focus more on the band. It's not like this showy video. It's like, no, this is who we are as a band, right? And you guys have lots of fun together. You can see that. You can see that energy. And I think that's important, right? You don't need a whole bunch of bells and whistles.
Just you wait. We got one or two more coming down the line that are the most ridiculous things we have ever shot. And they are hands down the top 2 videos we've ever done, because we just caution to the wind. And we're like, we don't need to tell a story anymore. We're just going to be ridiculous. But until that point, every video we had done held a very important part to us. And so like, we'll get through it when we get there. But like, we finally started like telling our story, and now we're like, hey, here's who we are, instead of it being this awkward introduction of a bunch of 5 goofy dudes that just like to have fun and then try to be serious. We wanted to show people that we could be serious and have fun.
Yeah, I love it. Brad, what's the best audience you've played for so far?
The big shows don't count.
And you can't say you can't say Edmonton, because we all know hometown goes hard.
It's always hometown, yeah. Well, that's a tough one. Then the big shows don't count. Oh, okay. I will say, probably outside of all of those and outside of hometown, probably Calgary is the next closest city to us, right? So Calgary is second home. Lots of our friends and our friend bands are from there. So we've always had a great time in Calgary and great response and interaction with the fans there. So Calgary.
All right. I love it. So is Luke always late for practice, Brad, or is there somebody else that's always late for practice?
Me and Connor for sure, because we come together. Yeah. And I'm the one who drives, so technically I'm late, but whatever.
I love it. What's the most embarrassing thing that's happened on stage for one of you guys?
I got kicked in the balls 2 back-to-back shows and fell down.
Oh.
I've dislocated my kneecap on stage twice.
Oh, that wouldn't be fun.
Oh no, I made it through those sets. Those are not good times.
I remember that was the time we met that dude with the gold feather necklace who drove that thing, but he had a gun in his back holster, and you're like, whoa.
Things were a little weird. Luke has a lot of really good misheard lyrics on stage.
Oh man. That's just too bad, really.
Okay, remember in our last US tour with when we were with Silly Your Scores, I don't remember what happened leading up to this, but somehow I lost a bet and had to play the whole set in my boxers.
Oh my
So-
God, yeah.
Odds.
Odds, right?
Odds.
That's what it was. Yeah.
I
Oh,
love
man,
it.
that was tough.
Yeah,
What
but
about me?
that's not embarrassing because Brad looks really good naked, so it's fine.
I can tell. I can tell.
Still
most-
embarrassing.
Oh God, the most embarrassing thing for me, but it happened internally.
I
was
mean,
the
like,
time I outwardly embarrassing things. Like I can't. Honestly, anytime that I just have a bad show, anytime that I'm squeaking up there or like,
No, I
know-
got one for Luke.
oh
Wait,
no,
remember that time? I don't know what this was in response to, but Luke's on stage and something happens. He's like, "I like to see that
Oh, yeah.
shit," but in the recording when we hear it back, it sounds like "I like to see that dick."
so yeah, it's like right mid song. It's like fuck yeah, I like to see that dick, and I was like, what? The hell?
honestly, we're not the kind of group that gets embarrassed. Like, we're all just ridiculously shameless at the end of the day anyway. So like,
Yeah,
if there is something like that, it's just funny, and we're gonna keep it as a joke with us for our group chat is called the fellas because Luke couldn't figure out if he wanted to say boys or fellas at one point
oh man,
3
I was
years
like, yeah.
ago, and it's still the chat name.
I was like, what's up? It's your fellas.
That's hilarious.
Do-
All right, next
do-
song. Nerve. I love it. Who wants to dissect this one?
It's a weird one because none of us actually wrote the lyrics to it.
You know what? A little bit about this tune. I think it was destined to be a special tune, and I say that in a lot of different ways because we wrote that song on our very first cross Canada tour with Connor, and because Connor was planning on just filling in for it at the time, but halfway through he decided to become a full member, and I remember we were somewhere out in London. No, not London. Where was it? I think it was St. Kitts. Anyway, it was out in Ontario. But we were in Ontario and he just started playing this really nice acoustic riff. And then I started to play some chords and then we just kept playing that like same riff and chords like the whole tour. And then we just got back and put on distorted guitar, just recorded a little demo. And I can speak on the recording process really heavily because our producer was really mad at
Oh
the
yeah,
time.
we played some weird games when we tracked this song.
Yeah, because like this was one of the only songs that going into it, we had absolutely no substitutions. We were like, this is the way the song is going to be, period.
Well,
No
we were stupid when we tracked this, and we tracked drums with one producer, and then we
That
literally
was on
that was it.
purpose.
We went in, we are like, we're tracking drums with this because this is the drum room that we want and all that. And for some reason, we decided to go somewhere else for everything else. I think it was he owed us like X amount of money or something, and so we just used that money and tracked drums.
We had overpaid for some studio time or something like that, and he said we'll come for a drum session because that's what we can afford. And like I like the way Greg did drums at the time, so we went over there. I just did the full drums for the song. And just
we didn't pre-pro this song. We literally just tracked drums.
Pre-pro, just tracked the drums and cut print. And then we went to Quinn, which is the guy we record with now. He does great guitar work, vocal stuff. And
his drum track is amazing too. Now we just
of course, right? But at the time we just did what we did. And I remember we just like gave him the drums and we were like, this is it. And he was like, boys, I can't edit anything from the drums. And we were like, just trust us. Please just trust us. And then sorry, this cat. And then Connor, he went in and recorded all the guitars and Nick went in and recorded all the bass. And he's like, I don't get it. I don't get what's going on here. And then Connor recorded the guitars. And then he was like, I still don't quite get it. And then we laid the vocals over top, everything, finished it all. There's no harmonies in the entire song. It's just vocals singing over everything. And finally at the end of it, he's like, boys, this is a good song. And it's like, that was kind of a cool feeling to have because it was the last thing we kind of got to do in the studio with our previous singer. but it was the first thing we got to do with Connor, who became such a vital core songwriter member of like the band, right? And still to this day, that's one of our most played songs. We don't play it as much live because I find it really hard to sing, because like singing like the old guy is pretty tough.
Yeah.
I'll just say that straight up. But you know, it's Nerve is just it's just a good tune for that reason alone. I think it's just it holds a lot of history in that way. And that was the first song, that was the first time we actually took a release and put a bunch of money towards every single aspect of it, rather than trying to budget out a record release, budget out videos, and then try and I'll keep it all small. You're like, let's just keep this big budget for an EP and just put it all towards one single, one video. You know, we flew out Wafka from, you know, White Cloud, and it's like such an amazing video. Still to this day, one of like our best videos, right? And it's like just really special in all fronts and like that. And it kind of was the stepping stone for us to step into the next part of our careers, I guess. And a lot of people in the city started to take us way more seriously after that.
Yeah,
That's a really cool
that
story.
release kind of turned a few heads in the best way. And like Luke said, we flew in Wyatt Clough he flew Japan to Toronto to Edmonton to Toronto to Japan for 2 days to spend with us, and we shot the video in a day. And there's so many little nuances in that video that just like he did such a good job to like just dash them in there instead of like blatantly showing it all off, which we really appreciated. And we definitely took that a little more going forward too, is a less is more approach to everything between artwork, videos, photos, even some of the songs. Like this was a big learning process for us, and we definitely like stepped up a level during Nerve.
Who's been your guys' inspiration in just playing and singing? Like favorite guitar player, Brad?
Oh boy. There's so many. Okay, my first favorite guitar player and my first favorite band was Blink. This is a Blink poster. That's Tom DeLonge signature Strat. So Tom was my first favorite guitarist, but as far as inspiration for music now, definitely more stuff a little bit on the harder side of pop punk. I think we really liked the kind of like NICKELBACK Story So Far sound and the way that they arranged their songs. So I think a lot of our as we progress as a band, we got a lot of influence from them and the way that they write their music and their songs.
Yeah.
You could have just said the dude from Dragon Force.
Yeah, that's great.
Herman Lee.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Just Herman Lee and nobody else.
Crazy
Yeah.
double kick there. That's awesome.
What
I
about
play
you, Nick?
drums,
Who's
so
your
that's
favorite
all I
bass player?
focus on when I'm listening to that stuff. So I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. For sure. Nick, how about you?
Favorite guitar player, yeah. No, favorite bass player. I'm super fortunate. I got to spend like a couple months working with Beartooth as an assistant TM, and watching how that band operates as a whole blows my mind. But even watching just Oshie play, he's got to be one of my top 3 bass players, no question. He's a phenomenal musician, a genius when it comes to business, and just like all around one of the nicest dudes ever. But he's also very intimidating, which is all I ever want to be.
Yeah, I love it. So
You
Brad and Luke, you guys got like lots of pussy flying around there. Like I'm not quite sure what's going on in the background.
Yeah, we're a cat band now.
Yeah, over the last year, this entire band got cats.
It's so cute.
Are you guys single, in a relationship, married?
I am in a relationship. This is technically my girlfriend's cat.
I love it. So how is dealing and being in a relationship with being on the road?
Ooh, man. Do you want like
What's
a
the
real
biggest thing you
answer?
fight about, Nick? What's the biggest thing you fight about when you're on the road or just getting ready? You're packing your bag.
I
I love you, honey.
met my wife on tour.
Okay.
I actually met my wife through Brad's Tinder.
Get out of here.
So back in 2019, when we were on tour, we were doing anything we could to find a place to stay, and Anne offered up her house for all of us to crash on the floor. A year later, like we kept in touch. I was in a relationship still through that tour, and the following tour I had done with Beartooth right before the pandemic hit, and I was like, hey, because you put us up for like the night, I want to offer you tickets to the Spare Tooth show, come hang out and like enjoy a free concert for the sake of it. We chatted a little bit then, and then we kind of just kept in touch. And then when my last relationship fell apart, she was like the one person that was there for me through it all. And so I was like, I like you. So in July, I flew down to Philly. We signed paperwork at a bar and drove back up to Edmonton. And then I went on tour again for 2 months, like immediately. So the biggest issue is like being on the road, depending on like what capacity I'm in. I don't always get the opportunity to call home. And so that's like, we'll still text like throughout the day, but there's that moment of just like being able to actually talk to somebody and not be in the world that you are surrounded in all the time. It's really important, and it's super difficult depending on where we're at. But aside from that, I'm tired all the time. Like I was saying earlier, booking this tour, I'm so exhausted. Like I'm spending 8 hours working, 8 hours doing this, 2 or 3 hours sleeping, and it's just a repeated cycle. So
Yeah.
it's
So not a lot of you guide time.
Not at all. None. Zero.
Well, another thing too, I'll mention, especially about being in relationships and going on tour and being in the band and stuff like that. It's tough in a lot of ways that your partner really has to be strong in a way that you're gonna always have something there that's in some form or fashion might take precedent over a situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, you know, duty calls. Now, it's not to say that we don't put family first. Of course we do that. But, you know,
I do not. That doesn't go for me. I put the band before everything.
Either way. But it's really tough on the road because, you know, you're so far away. Let's say they're having like a bad day, really down day, and like you're the person that's there for them. It's hard to be there for them when you're so far away. And compounding that, you know, if on social media, you know, we're having fun, you know, like people don't see the stress online. You know, people don't see that, like, damn, boys, we didn't make enough at merch tonight, we got to use the guarantee for gas. You know, like all of these things are, you know, like the smoke and mirrors of going on tours that, you know what, it is definitely 100% the best times of our lives. But it's like half an hour. God damn this cat.
I don't know why you didn't just set up in your studio to do this.
Yeah, it's so good. It's like that half an hour 45 on stage that really makes this whole thing worth it. And you know, like loading in sucks, loading out sucks, driving 8 hours sucks. But
that's the life though.
That's
the life. You like everything. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you love what you do, it's that 5 seconds that you love what you do, and the rest fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Right. What about you, Brad? How's your relationship on the road?
Yeah, it's the same. Like it's, you know, you have ups and downs. It's just I don't know, I have the same thing as these guys already said. Just like there's just like small things that you wouldn't think of, or you know, from an outside perspective, if you haven't like been on the road and done the tour thing, it's hard to explain what that's like to someone else and make them understand that like there's some days where we're all in the van for 8 hours, and you know, there's only enough plugins for 2 people to keep their phones charged for 8 hours, right? Or
you're driving 8 hours and you can't talk and text on the road.
Or you're sleeping for 8 hours.
Or that, or you know, there's some days where like we finish a show and I have to do some work, and I'll like set up my laptop and, you know, work till 3 or 4 in the morning, and then sleep for a couple hours, and then get up and drive, and then we crash on the road if you can, right? Take a nap. And lots of
real quick, we're not getting in accidents on the road, Brad. Phrasing.
yeah. Different kind of crash.
That's right.
Yeah, like lots of that stuff is, you know, seems like very minor things or really easy obstacles from an outside perspective, but when you're on the road and you're exhausted and you're not sleeping well and you're not eating well and like
you're broke,
and like there's, you know, your mental health goes up and down with the shows and with the scenery and everything. So all of those things affect how you are able to you know, be a support network for that other person, and to you know, to be there for them and, you know, and
Still stand up on your own.
yeah, and help them
Decide-
feel confident and secure in the relationship.
Yeah, you got to
and-
make sure you do that.
The side note,
Yeah.
Brad is my second wife, so like we do that for each other.
That's all.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start with another song.
How you gonna come up out of there? Walking tall like you're so high in the stratosphere. You never come down to face all of your biggest fears.
I want to start with the video first because I love the video. So Nick, kind of walk us through a little bit why the idea.
There was
what made
none.
you come up with
There
it?
was literally nothing. This is the
We
we've
thought it
had
would look
two,
cool.
two videos in this this band's existence have been planned, shot, and edited in like a weekend. This and Chasing Ghosts. Chasing Ghosts is a story all in itself, and Luke's in the house right now, and where we spent way too much money on a music video. But Undone was straight up like we were looking at the rest of our music video budget. We were trying to figure out what we were gonna do, and Alan Bremner, no relation, turned out like he's one of our best friends from. He was in Lethbridge, now in Calgary. Is in a band called Gutter King, and he's actually out touring with Beartooth right now as their photographer. But we just kind of were like, hey, do you want to meet us in Drumheller, Alberta? We'll sit down and film some stuff for a few hours and, you know, see what we get.
Yeah.
And
it's
we
cool.
brought like a speaker, and we pretty much just walked around. Like we went on a hike was more or less what it was, and we were just ridiculous. There's random video footage, I'm sure, on tourist cell phones of us karaokeing to our own song in the Hoodoos, just having the time of our lives. But it's, yeah, there was no planning for this. We literally showed up, we acted weird, and we were pretending we were gangster.
And the teacup was in there too. So
A fucking teacup.
what's the song about? What's Undone about, Luke?
I'm done. It's just like, oh man, it's just like that. I wanted to write a rage song, not necessarily a rage song, but like a song that was kind of like a. I noticed that like throughout a lot of our lyrics, they weren't necessarily like telling anybody off. They were more like, "Wow, I don't like myself" type lyrics.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? Sometimes it's the other person. And so I was just like, I remember like Connor and I were going through that, and then we just like started one line after another, like, you know, some things that we've always wanted to say in a song. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we started like, I started the song, I was like, how you gonna come up on out here? That's shit I say daily. You know, like I don't know.
Luke
I
don't
just
English
love it.
good is what he's saying.
Yeah, it's all good.
I love
I
it.
hated
Luke, how
English
long have you
class.
been dancing for? I know you dance. How long have you been dancing for?
Oh, since I was like 9 years old. So
Yeah.
I guess 20 years almost.
Do you love it? Do you still do it or?
Oh yeah, I love it. I'll be at a place called Métis Crossing tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll be filming a segment for the Métis Nation of Alberta, and it's going to be sent out to all the region across the province and used as the instructional video for dancing.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be the guy, which is
I love
like
it.
crazy.
It's
to me.
awesome. It's really cool. I love it. I love it. So you guys sign your record deal. You're excited, obviously, right? Must be exciting to have that. Now you're going to make your first million soon. What's the first thing you're going to do with your first million, Nick?
Million streams, that's like $7, man.
No, $1 million.
I mean, I'm still paying for immigration fees for my wife to be up here, so that's A. Honestly, I've been dying to build my own house. I've been living in this place for 5 years, and it's great, but like there's too much of my past here. I need to move on and get something different. And so like new place, wife's immigration, I'd probably buy myself like a new base, some camera gear, and a new knife, and that's it.
I like it. Brad, what about you? Your first million?
I would, yeah, I'd probably buy some more guitars, and
We're gonna
and
buy
then
the, we'll build the captain's compound. We'll get a house for all 5 of us.
yeah, actually that would be sick. But no, I do that, and then I think I would I'd probably like buy my mom a house or something like that. You know, my mom's always supported me through school and music and stuff, and I always figured one day if we make it big that I would just pay it back to her and buy her a house or something cool. Take her on a vacation or something.
That's cool. How about you, Luke? First million.
Golden clothes.
Gold, yeah.
You can't wear
Like
it.
a
You can't
big
wear it.
gold chain or?
Oh my God, no, okay, hold up. I got a plan. So first off, I pay off all my debts. Let's get that clear.
That's all the money right there.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah. No, but I do that for sure. And then I'd buy my mom a Jaguar because she's always wanted the Jaguar car. That'd be pretty dope.
That would be pretty good.
I'd buy myself a house. Actually, I'd probably need way more money to buy the house that I want, so I'll probably just cool it on the house. I'd probably put the rest of the money in Ethereum and GameStop.
Yeah, invest
And
it.
I would just invest it and wait. And then when I get really, really, really rich, I would buy myself the biggest diamond golded chain in the world.
Way down your neck.
He's gonna
Yeah.
Logan Paul and wear a $600,000 Pokemon card around his neck.
Oh, dude, of course.
That's it. That's the million right there.
That's a million right there. How do you guys describe your music to people? Do you like
Rock.
the title pop punk? Do you like that?
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I don't think we hate it. It's not like always perfectly fitting.
Yeah.
But
I've been calling us punk rock for years. Or dead, like just really generalize it. We're a rock band. We're a punk band, a pop rock band. Like
Yeah.
anybody ever is gonna understand that because we've got the post-hardcore and screamo aspect, but we also have the bubblegum pop punk side of things too.
Yeah.
And if you listen to modern rock nowadays, like the modern rock kind of allows screaming and breakdowns and heaviness. And it's like, I just tell people we're a rock band nowadays. It's just so easy because like people don't question it. Every single time in my past when I'd say I'm in a pop punk band, they're always like, "Oh, what's that?" And I'm like, "Oh, here we go." Because you have to give some examples, and then the only examples that regular people, or not regular people, but like mainstream listeners are gonna know would be like Green Day and Blink-182, and we don't really sound like either of them.
Yeah, for sure. So when you guys signed your deal, how did you guys celebrate?
Brad and I got tattooed. Brad and I were in Vegas when we got the actual contract sent in.
I smoked some weed.
You guys weren't all together.
No, Brad and I were in Vegas for Warped Tour. It was the day that we saw Warped Tour. We got back to the hotel with heat stroke, and we were both just ready to die. And we got the email with the contract, and then we just went back out and kept drinking.
Okay, wait, but there was also a time, because I have a video of this when we were in
That was after the showcase.
In Spokane. Yeah, after the showcase, yeah. We had like a little celebration there, and where we just like, do we have champagne?
Label Press heavily
we didn't have
implied that we were going to be signed, and we were like,
yeah.
Did they do anything special for you? Did the label do anything special for you?
They bought us burritos when we were in Albany.
Yeah, and
they gave us a record deal. That's all they ever needed.
That's right. They don't have to do anything else.
Yeah.
All right, next song.
Just leave me busted, leave me bleeding. I'm for Lazarus, I've seen it, but wasn't needed. Somehow right.
He's a pretty good drummer, eh?
No kidding.
Yeah, he's pretty good. So have you guys been flashed by girls on stage?
No.
By guys, yes.
Yeah? By guys, but no girls?
Yeah. It's me. I'm guys. I've done it to my own band.
Nick.
I wouldn't even know what to do in that situation. I'd be just like,
You wouldn't look away. Jeez.
I think there was one bra thrown on stage once, like 3 years ago, and I don't think they knew who we were.
Tell me a little bit about Tailspin. Who wants to
women in
dissect
the
that
crowd.
song a little bit?
Luke, you want to talk Tailspin? Brad, you want to talk Tailspin?
Tailspin. Well, the reason I get fucked up is these seasons. It's kind of like a song about kind of like the bitter parts about going through depression on your own, kind of realizing you're gonna need, maybe you're gonna need some help along the way. You know, it's, you know, like I have so many thoughts inside this brain, and so does Connor. Connor wrote lots of this song actually, and it just kind of goes without saying. It's like really in the lyrics that sometimes when I'll just use a pre-chorus as an example, like some highway signs lead to some highway signs lead to a better life inside my mind. So it's almost like when you're driving on the highway and you just want to take that exit and just forget everything else that you have in your life because you just want to start anew. You just want to forget everything else. But when you kind of have those thoughts, you start to think, hey, all right, that's not a good thought to have. So it's like, I think it's time that I let you know that I'm spiraling out of control, which is just so self-explanatory. And I think that's one of the biggest parts that I like about our own lyrics is that we're not trying to be overly metaphorical or anything like that. It's like, dude, we are not doing so hot. You know, like we are definitely asking for help. You know, like if all of these feelings were the same feeling as falling through the sky, I wish that there was a parachute that we could just pull it and it would be fine. You'd have a soft landing and everything is all good. But life ain't like that. So
No, it's
you
not.
gotta go through and find a new normal, because if you want to get back to a feeling that you had in the past, it may never happen. You just have to keep trudging on and kind of find what makes you happy today.
Yeah, I love that. Anybody else want to add?
I was gonna say, dude, we are not doing so hot is gonna be a line in one of our upcoming songs now.
That's so funny.
Do you guys have any, before I get on stage, rituals that you do?
I have about 4 beers.
Okay, so you need to have some drinks.
Don't need to, choose to.
Okay.
When we were touring and most of the band wasn't sober, we had a min-max rule where it was you had to have at least such amount of substance in your system, but not past that point. I think Brad's was like a beer to 2 beers, and I was anywhere from like 4 to 8. And then
Brad, you're not a big drinker or never have been, or just decided to go sober?
I've never really been a big one. But Nick's the only big drinker in the band, and someone's gotta even out his drinking. So
it's pretty much
help sometimes.
We'll get 10 drink tickets, and I have to have 8, and Brad gets 2.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'm going.
I keep him alive.
Yeah.
We did anything crazily wasted, Nick?
Oh
Where
man,
do I
there's this one
start?
time. Okay, wait, hold up. I got a story for y'all. There's this one time where he completely was so fucking plastered, and we were gonna talk about drive-through, and he for once in his life, he was like, I love you guys. I love you guys so much. You guys are like my best friends. And
I
it was,
told
like,
you if
so
you tell
sincere.
anybody, you're gonna die.
I know, and it was so sincere. And the next morning we were like, that was so nice, Nick. We were like, we had such a nice conversation. He was like, what conversation? And I was like, oh man, you fucking just like, we fucking love you, you bastard.
You fucking guy.
Yeah.
I'm an
That's my
angry
favorite
human.
shit.
Y'all gotta understand that and just live with it.
You're not really sentimental, Nick.
Oh no, I am. I don't take pictures when we go out on tour. Like we'll stop somewhere on the road and all 4 of the dudes are on their phones, like, oh, it's the Brooklyn Bridge, and taking photos and stuff. And I'm
It's like, we're already late for loading. Let's fucking go.
I'm a City and Color song at that point. Is I never take any pictures because I know I'll be right back, kind of thing. Like it's
Yeah.
I'm so comfortable on the road and I'm so ready to just be doing it nonstop. Like you could throw me in a van for 2 years. The end of those 2 years, I'd be like, cool, when's the next day? Like I'm made to tour. I'm a road dog through and through, and I love it. So I'm not sentimental in that regard. I also am the hard drive of the band, and I can remember anything, so I don't really need all that other stuff.
And I can't remember anything, so it works out.
Where's one place you guys would love to tour to? Brad, where would you love to tour to?
Ooh,
Tour back to.
Just maybe you've never been before. Always would be phenomenal to play.
Some of our goals for places to tour, I think for me, are still Australia and Japan. Would be really cool. Always
That would
wanted
be
to see
really
those.
Yeah.
Japan for me.
Yeah, same. How about you, Nick?
Germany.
Germany, yeah, that would be really cool.
Germans are insane at a show and in a pit, and I love that.
How about who would you love to share a stage with? What artist would you love to share a stage with?
NICKELBACK.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
That's
I speak for the band.
that's a captain's answer. If
Yeah.
Chad Kroger is listening and needs an opener at any time, call us. We'll make it happen.
Dude, we'll literally fucking make it happen, man.
Well, one of my best friends grew up with them. He was on the show. If you want to check it out, his name's Jay Mole. Knows him very well, right? Grew up with them. So maybe I can send this to him. And
Dude, yeah, you don't understand how much we love and respect Nickelback, and especially because we're like from the same province.
Yeah,
It's
none
like-
of this is a joke either. Like we
Yeah.
talked in multiple interviews. We sat down with alt press and like talked
I
about
think
it.
it started as a joke. And then
It was never
we're
a
like,
joke.
wait a
It was
second.
never a joke. It was like we just like Tim actually, he got caught on film talking about how much he loved Nickelback, and then it was like, oh shit.
It was out until we
Yeah.
all like we don't have to
Yeah,
hide
and
it
so
anymore.
we were like, okay, we have to double down. We have to let everybody know that we actually do fuck with Nickelback. So
I bought a $30 greatest hits Nickelback CD at a gas station on the way to BC on the way to our last tour, and it lived
Yeah.
in the van that entire run. It was great.
I swear to God, that shit's gonna start skipping. It got a lot of airtime. Let me tell
And
you.
dude, it's still regular rotation in my truck.
I love it. You
Yeah,
guys have any
okay.
pet peeves? Things that
These-
drive you absolutely crazy?
Both of these two.
Pet peeves. Oh man.
Anybody who
You know
sound
what?
checks with a Blink-182 song.
Anybody who wakes me up when we're sleeping in the van, I'm such a light sleeper that I know for a fact I have to be the guy to move the van in the middle of the night when we get woken up and told, hey, you can't park here. And I fucking lose it, man. Oh man, I'm not an angry person, but like if you wake me from my slumber, and when
Watching
I'm in
Angry Luke
boxers-
drive in his underwear is like a top 2 tour memory.
dude, I'm not even wearing a shirt half the time. I'm just like, I'm just like angry. I just have to drive 20 feet to the other side of the parking lot because it's like, oh
That's
man, there's
happened
been
so
way
many
too many times. Dude, it's so fucking brutal.
What are
And
some
I know
biggest
I'm the
things that
guy.
you guys have gave up just to kind of make it to where you are now?
Everything.
Everything, yeah.
I don't know what they're
Um,
talking about.
Lots of us
Dude.
quit jobs and lost relationships and all
Yeah,
kinds of
if-
things for music.
If you want to get down and dirty, you know, like my mom, bless her
Financial
heart.
stability.
Yeah, my
The
mom,
big
bless her
one.
heart, like I'm in her basement right now. She, saved all this money for me to go to college. I'm turning 28 this year and I still have never went. It's like, it's not that I gave up a career for myself, but I was working at a place called Native Counseling Services, and they were offering me like the opportunity to move up in the company, like become an active caseworker, eventually move up towards management and like have a full career there. And then I left there because we had a tour and they couldn't deal with the time off. And after that, I was really lucky enough to get a job from Métis Child and Family Services. And I worked there as a youth worker for a little while. And we had a tour coming up. Again, had to leave. Like
Shows
I've had
commitment.
way too many. Yeah, I've had way too many relationships. Just, it's just realizing how much you have to deal with.
Yeah. Any regrets
like
along
a-
the way?
I've set
No.
the bar so low for myself that like I'm good. I had the same job since before this band was doing anything serious, and I was just consistently at the same point where I'm like, hey, I'm gonna tour at some point. My boss is like, cool, lets me go on tour. I come back, gives me a contract, I'm back to work. We're all very fortunate that we have the families that we have that are as
Yeah.
supportive as they are. So that's like, we've never had to sacrifice anything through home for that. Yeah, we've all lost girlfriends and stuff. It happens. I'm pretty sure I lost my last girlfriend because I wasn't touring, funny enough. So, it's a weird aspect, and like we definitely see it where we get very comfortable once we're in a routine going for it. And anybody in that position, be it musician or accountant, you're gonna wind up making sacrifices once you hit that stride and you're just focused on it. But yeah, no, zero regrets through any of this.
Love it.
I would have
No regrets.
I would have started practicing earlier if I knew that this was a viable option.
Yeah, I love it. I want to end with one song. Is there a song that you guys want to talk about?
Twisted Sister.
We're not going to take it.
Are we specifically doing our songs?
If you want to, you can do whatever song you like.
Because that's a great song.
Yeah,
And it has my favorite tour story.
I'm going through the rest of our videos, and I'm like, we got what? Disconnected, Ghosts, Out of My Head, Wasted.
Hey, we
Laurel
can do more
Canyon,
if you want. I don't
or
like.
Collapse.
I'm game.
Let's do one more of ours and Twisted Sister.
Okay, let's do it. Which one do you want to do?
Brad, you want to do Disconnected? Because that video is probably one of the deepest videos we have, and it's a good one to talk about.
Sure, yeah.
I'll play it.
When you get a taste of the life you crave, but the best you make are feeling like us. It's a fitting curse, but the dream you chase just leaves you feeling worse. They're writing.
All right, Disconnected. Who wants to talk about it? Brad, I feel like you're up, my friend.
Yeah, so the video for Disconnected is really special for me in particular. I kind of came up with the concept for the video and directed it, and it was shot here in my house in this room
Oh, no way.
and the room next to this one. And yeah, the video isn't like, it's not really linked to the song all that much. Like the song is more about like the struggle of like the musician struggle and touring and stuff like that. And we didn't, when we were going into the video, we didn't really have any ideas for it, and I always kind of had this one in my pocket and knew that I was going to wanted to use this idea at some point, just wasn't sure for what. And I just figured, why not for this one? And the idea for the song was it's loosely based off my life. When I was younger, about 12 years old, my younger sister passed away. And so the concept of the video is about an artist that tries to use art as like a coping mechanism and to like get over the survivor's guilt of going through that. And it's just doesn't work, or it's not going well. So the concept of the video is loosely based around me. Obviously, I'm not a painter. My medium is music, but yeah, I pitched the idea to the guys, and everyone liked it, and we like put it together in like a day and cleared out the whole room and the basement down here in my house. And actually, I think that was the first video that we had where we featured Tim on drums, and he wasn't officially in the band yet. So
yeah, there's no like solid shot of Tim in that video.
I remember
his face.
Just in case.
Yeah, no, I remember purposely we're like, okay, we have a smoke machine. Let's smoke Tim some more, so he's like really hazy in the back, because we're not sure if he wants to join the band yet or not.
And poor fucker's got asthma, so he's just like drumming as hard as he can.
He's just dying in the back. Yeah.
I love it. That's a great story. It's a great story. What's the strangest question you guys have been asked in an interview so far?
All right, what was that last one we had? Oh, if you were any kind of sandwich, what would you be?
That's what it was.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that. I like that.
What would you be?
I'd be a nice grilled cheese.
Oh, I like Jesus. No,
can't
peanut
remember- I
butter and
can't-
jam.
I can't remember what I answered on the last one. It changes. I would be a peanut butter and jelly Uncrustable, because those are the greatest thing in the world, and Smuckers needs to get their shit together and start selling them in Canada.
I agree.
Is a hot
No
dog
regrets
a
along the
sandwich?
way. What's the
Stop.
best thing that you love about being a musician, and what's the one thing you hate about being a musician?
Can being a musician being an answer?
Yeah, it can, for sure. So you love being a musician, but you hate being a musician.
Well, I'll tell you why that is though. And it's like, I don't know, my whole life I've had some, like dumbass dreams that like I was like, 5 years old painting, and I was like, I'm gonna be a painter, I'm gonna be an artist. I've always had that dream in my head of being an artist. When I was like 10 years old, I was like drawing pictures of me on stage with like a sold out crowd, big lights, full big band, like big amps. Like I just always had it in my head that this is like art and creating stuff is what I want to do. And being a musician is my favorite thing, because I can just pick up a guitar and poop out a song from my brain. Like it just comes out like that. You know what I mean? Like that's the craziest thing about music is it brains just create it. It wasn't there before, but now it's here.
Yeah.
And I hate being a musician because that's all I want to fucking do. Nothing else matters some days. Like that's, you know, like that's you're in a mindset to forego opportunities that would give you financial stability, that would set you up to start a family, that would set you up for all of these things that would otherwise be considered a conventional life.
Yeah.
I don't care about all that. I just want to play these songs and get out what's in my brain, because if I don't, I'll go crazy, because it's all I've ever wanted to do and it's all I have planned, because it makes me happy, it makes me feel good, and it makes other people happy, and it makes them help get through other things. So being a musician is my favorite, but only wanting to be a musician and nothing else is kind of tough to deal with.
Yeah, I agree. It's awesome. Brad, what do you love? What do you hate?
I think like when I started playing music, music was really important for me when I was younger. Like going through the, like I just mentioned with the video with my sister passing away, like music for me was like comforting. There was like, you know, there's certain songs that I just became really attached to because I could relate to them, and they, you know, they talk about what I was going through. And so like for me, that was like therapeutic. It was huge for me. And there's been lots of times, and Luke kind of mentioned this earlier, when we've been on tour and like someone will come up to me after the show and be like, hey, I just want to thank you for writing your last EP. You know, like this song got me through a really hard time. And I think when I was learning music, that's kind of what I wanted us to be, right? To be able to be that for someone else. So lots of those interactions are like the best for me, like hearing that somebody connected with a song and it helped them get through a hard time and now they're doing better. Like that's my shit. Love that.
What were some of the songs that got you through your hard time with your sister?
The big one that I can think of is or two of them. Well, one of them would be Adam's Song by Blink-182, and the other one is Sunny by Newfound Glory. And those are both kind of deal with death. Sunny was a big one, actually. I think that was about I think it was, I don't know if it was Chad or one of the members of Newfound Glory losing his grandpa. That's what the song is about. But yeah, that song was just huge for me. I probably played it like 100,000 times.
I love it. Is there anything that you hate about being a musician?
I guess I don't know. I mean, the financial stability one thing for sure, but I think it's more just about like the thing that I would say I hate is kind of like the stigma around being a musician. Like, you know, if you're a painter and or you know, you have some other art form, for some reason, just, you know, I feel like arts is very important in culture, and musicians, I feel like, just get shit on unless you're at the top of the totem pole. You know, nobody like we've literally played shows where people like, you know, promoters are like, you guys want to come out and play the show? Like drive 4 hours and I'll pay you 3 beers each, and it'll be great exposure for you, right? And I'm like, man, you know, we spent 10K on the album, bought a van, all these guitars, and like we spent thousands of dollars to, you know, make 1/100th of a cent on a stream. Like I don't know, I feel like musicians are really poorly compensated for what they do, and I wish that was a little bit different sometimes, but that's the struggle.
Yeah.
You
What
know,
about
like-
you, Nick?
Yeah, I gotta second that. It's the misconception of what being a musician truly is. Has got to be the worst part of it all. Like, I know between all our families, we've gone back and done those family dinners. Everybody's like, oh, here's the rock star. How much money have you made playing your little 6-string? Like, everybody for some reason thinks that just because you play music means you're going to be able to make money off of it. And that's not the case. Like, we've been doing this for 8 years. And like, if it wasn't for 9-to-5s and family backing us, we wouldn't be able to do the shit that we do. But it's also people just assume that like all I have to do is practice and play. And there's so much more than that. Like, Brad's on TikTok for 6 hours a day, working and learning and posting and creating content and all that. And I'm sitting and booking tours and getting shit ready to go and designing
I'm
posters.
crying in the studio.
Luke's still shining though. He's still shining though.
Luke's crying into a mic somewhere.
But like that's just it. There's so much more. None of us are just musicians because we can't be. We have to be accountants, we have to be content creators, we have to be borderline influencers and just on our game all the time. And it's fucking exhausting, but it's so worth the payoff at the end. Like if in 10, 15, 20 years, when I've got kids and they've got kids, that I can show them photos of us on stage playing to 10,000 people and actually have proof that this was all worth it, it's worth it. And even if I don't have that proof, I'm under 30. I got time to keep fucking my life up before I got to get this shit figured out like Brad does.
Yeah. What do you love most about being a musician?
It's honestly kind of goes down the same road. There's a Banksy quote that he talks about how you die twice. Once when you take your last breath and once when your name's said for the last time. And the first one's inevitable. Like I am fully aware that I'm here for a good time and not a long time. I'm going to go out, have fun, and do everything I can to the best of my abilities. And one day that's all gone. But through music, I can make sure that second part never happens and I never suffer a second death. I want in 1,000 years, as the sun's about to burn out, some dude finds a fucking vinyl record of Calling All Captains and he puts it on and we're reborn again. Just because this is possible. This is what music has given the option for. People are still listening to, the Beatles, and John Lennon's been dead for how long? People are still listening to Elvis and he owns a donut shop in Memphis now. Like it's still a thing after these people are gone. And we have the ability to do that. And that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
We also get to see the appreciation for our stuff before we like cut off an ear and die and then die poor. People are gonna recognize before we're gone.
I love it. I love
hope.
it. All right, last song.
Twisted Sister, we're not gonna take it.
Another underrated band, hey? Like
This is up there with Nickelback. If Twisted Sister asks us to tour,
we're in. I don't have any connections to Twisted Sister, but
no.
okay,
Let me tell you why we chose this song.
Okay, tell me.
This is a great tour story.
This is the worst
All right.
thing I've ever offered up. I regret.
Okay.
This is my regret.
Okay. All right. So Connor and I are set up front, and I choose the music a lot of the time. The guys hate it, but either way, we decided to put Twisted Sisters and Couldn't Take It. We're not going to take it on repeat for as long as we can until the fellas actually say out loud, "We are not going to take it." And we made it through damn near 20 times of this song.
17 repetitions.
17 times.
17 times. And I think one of the fellas was asleep and just woke up to a constant repeating Twisted Sister.
That was Brad.
And then
that
my
happened.
favorite was then like a few days later. We knew that the joke was over, but we decided to put on cover songs of the same song. So there was one that started that like without drums. And then there was just like, we're not, and it would just like, it would play a new one, but it'd be just a different cover.
There's a Kids Bop version of We're Not Gonna Take It, and it's wild.
Yeah, there's a Kid Bop's version of like songs that shouldn't have a Kid Bop version.
Brad has had the worst times ever in the van being woken up, and he wakes up to immediately start screaming. It's great. We have tortured Brad psychologically and physically.
Poor Brad. They have a really good Christmas album if you haven't heard it.
Okay.
Oh, we've heard it.
It's good.
The Justin Bieber Christmas album is the best though.
I love it. Well, you guys, thank you so much for joining us on Music Junkies today. Before I let you go, though, I'd love for you to tell our fans where to find you, where to stalk you, how they can, reach out to you if you want to take a couple minutes to do that. Who wants to do that? Nick?
I got it. Thank you guys for having us and listening to us. This has been Nick, Brad, and Luke from Calling All Captains. You can find us on all social media at Calling All Captains, at Twitter at Calling All CPTNS. You can find me specifically at Nick Calling All Captains on pretty much anything. Find it.
And Luke's home address is no.
And Brad's Visa card is 4520.
Easy.
We're going to be headed out on the road again this summer through the States. So if you guys are out there and you're listening, come say hey, check out a show. All our tour information is available across social media, Bands in Town, Instagram, Facebook, and listen to us everywhere. Steal our record. I don't care. Just please jam Slowly Getting Better.
And if you don't know where to start and this is your first time getting to know Colonel Captains, head to colonelcaptainsband.com to get started.
Yeah, I love it. Brad, I want you to leave us with some words of wisdom if you can.
Oh, put me on the spot. Words of wisdom to leave
Grass
you
is
with.
greener where you water it.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, okay. I feel like we can do better though.
Man, go to bed with itchy butthole. Wake up with stinky finger.
This is
Take
true.
Take care of your shit or you're going to suffer. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, actually, I'm not gonna do better than that. We'll take that one.
I got one.
All right, Luke.
Tough time never lasts. Only tough people last.
It's very true.
Okay. Okay, Scott Hall.
Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. That was awesome. So much fun. Thanks for being open, honest,